All right, I'm gonna do a Honda change. I'm gonna do an oil change on the Honda 450 RL. This is what I'm using. Moto 7100. I'm using the 1050 because I'm in the desert, and like I run this even in the winter because I'm never riding below 60. I'm gonna use this in the summer. I'm gonna change the oil filter. I'm just using a little tusk. There's a lot of controversy on doing oil changes with this bike. People will say, oh, the maintenance is way too high. You have to do maintenance. They recommend every 600 miles on this. I can do 2,000 miles, and the way I do 2,000 miles is using good oil, right? A 7100 Motul. That's how I get 2,000 miles out of a oil change. I could extend that even further to 3,000 miles if I really needed to. But we're going to change the oil, and I'm going to show you what the oil looks like at 2,000 miles. It could possibly even still be red. The first thing we're going to do is remove the skid plate, the stock skid plate. It's just 3 little screws, one on here, one on the other side, and one right here. You do have to be careful because this frame is aluminum, and you can bugger up your threads pretty easy, which I've done already. I'll just take... I have the Moto oil drain plug. It's got a magnet on it. Let's see. We're going to crack that open and see what we got here. Yep, so the Moto oil drain plug is a 19 millimeter. There it is. Jesus. Making a mess. But look, you can see that. It's still red. It's still red. It's still got some red in it. It's 2,000 miles and it's still got a red tint to it. There's a magnet on here. You can see there's a little bit of stuff. Nothing crazy, but picking up some stuff. The magnets are good to have, I think, because you're always going to pick up stuff with magnets. That's pretty good. And that little gasket on there, that O-ring gasket's fine for me. So we got that baby all cleaned up. But yeah, that's 2,000 miles and it's still got red tint in it. I don't know if you can see that, but still red. So I think that clearly shows that you can do 2,000, maybe even 3,000 if you needed to. And it's not a problem if you buy good oil. All right, but we'll take it off here. Got our little spring we want to keep. It goes on top. Our filter, it's going to sit right on top of there. Little gasket. I feel like it's all right. I think I'm going to use it one more time. Take my paper filter that I got, my new one. It would be awesome if Moto would make one of the magnetic oil filters like they do on the KTMs. That would be awesome, but put my little spring on there. Little spring. Put it down in there. Short screw goes on top, and then the longer screw on the bottom. And I forget what this is. I think it's like 10 pounds, 7 pounds, 10 pounds. I just tighten it up to where it's snug. Now you can pick these up from Moto. It's the oil drain plug. It's got the Moto label on it, and it's got a magnet in it. Pretty good right there. I'm going to go ahead and put that on, tighten it down. The Honda CRF 300L. Its oil change cycles are every 3,000 miles. I think I just proved this here that I could get close to that if I wanted to. And I don't go crazy. Just enough. Now I know some people want to do tech specs and torque specs and all that jazz, but I'm not going to lose my caps or anything, so I'm not worried about it. The oil changes are the same whether it's a Honda 450 or a KTM 500 EXCF. If you use the good oil, you can get 3,000. You could definitely do 2,000, no problem, but you could get 3,000 if you really needed to. This bike is going to take 1 full quart. If it's completely empty, it's 1.25 quarts Okay, but like when you drain the oil, you don't get everything out completely. So it's like every time you just put a quart in, you're good to go. Yeah, you want to be careful you don't overfill it. Do not overfill it. And then we're just going to add. And you see how red that is. So people always say, oh, the maintenance intervals are so short, extreme maintenance on these dirt bikes. It's not that bad. It's not as bad as people make it out to be. Now, if you're racing and you're in sand and you're just blasting, obviously it depends on your riding conditions, but if you're blasting through sand for a couple hours, like sure, you're gonna burn up your oil, break your oil down faster than if you're just riding on the street, right? But me, I'm just street riding, trail riding, so, and I think this should prove to people pretty significantly, unless you can't see how red the oil is, but like it's super red here, but even when it came out of the bike, it was still red. So that should prove to people that it's okay and it's not breaking down that bad. All right, that's the oil change on the Honda 450 RL. I think I just proved by showing you the oil after 2,000 miles and how easy it is to change the oil on this bike. I can do 2,000 no problem. I could do 3,000 if I really wanted to. And I think I show that. So service intervals for the 450 or the 500 are extreme. They're not extreme. You could go the same as you could on 300L. 3,000 miles is not a problem. 2,000, no sweat at all. I'm gonna go ahead and button this baby back up and clean her up and let her rip. Hope you liked the video. If you got any questions, leave a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.